I want to ask you a question. I want to know what you think of this,
Mm-hmm.
what your thoughts are on this. So, me being a creator,
Yeah.
you know, I don't even call myself an artist anymore. I'm a creator.
Yeah,
you know, I create.
That's the way I look at it.
Here
we go. It's coming.
It's not too deep, but I just want to know what your thoughts are on this. So, they say that when you feel, let's say, bad,
mm-hmm.
when you're feeling down
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, you can express that through. You can express. No, but the vibrating will hear it. Yeah. You should express yourself through your art form in those phases, right? A lot of people have like created the most greatest pieces of art, whether it's music or a painting, or let's say
mm-hmm.
through their pain or through their hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I used to express myself through my art form when I was hurt,
mm-hmm.
but lately I try to get out of my hurt first,
mm-hmm.
because I don't want my art to monopolize off of my pain. I want to promote positivity through everything that I do. So now, as of late, I get through my pain first, my hurt,
mm-hmm.
and then I'll create, because I want to make sure that I only promote positivity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into this dark phase or whatever. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a good thing? That's a bad thing? Or do you feel like no matter what you feel, you should?
I think it's a tricky question, just because I look at it like this. I feel like, so I think for singers, they turn a lot of their pain from the past into current, music, and it really spawns something that you wouldn't have been able to think up on your own unless you had been through it. So I think it can be a good thing, especially when that's telling a certain story to the world on what they went through, the things that they had to go through and whatnot. I think staying there is a different story. Like, if you can just learn and accept that happened, and then go back to that to take power out of it when you need to, and use it for a song to give to the world, to show them to show them something that you had gone through, to tell them, like, you're not alone, or I'd gone through this too, or if this happens, hope. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a great thing. But I don't think you need to experience that in order to create something beautiful, right? I think, like, now personally for me, I like to get into a good flow state when I'm writing. Like, I have basically a certain ritual where before I start writing, I open up my laptop and I'll sit there and I'll just think. I'll think about where I want to be. I'll think about what I want to do with my life, and then I'll start thinking about my story and where I want it to go, my characters, and I'll just start writing, and shit will literally just start coming to me. I've also listening to music is a big part of it too for me. I get a lot of ideas from music, and I get a lot of ideas just by listening to certain songs, because it helps me and brings me to a certain place that I can't go without these certain lyrics or songs triggering something in my mind, right? It's just the way it operates. But I don't think somebody staying in a certain terrible state will bring anything good out of it. I think if you use the pain that you had or are currently experiencing, you can bring it out of it. But I think staying there is you don't need to do that in order to make something great. I just think using those past experiences, or knowing that this is something that will pass, and taking that and using it to your advantage, is a good way to do it. That's just my personal thing. Like, even in my my other book, The Truth, it's called The Truth for Consistency, right? The Truth of Consistency, sorry, from the inside out. I put some things in there that I went through when I was younger to allow me to basically better myself. So instead of me sitting there and being a victim and knowing, shit didn't go my way and I didn't get what I wanted, I used it to say, okay, this is where I'm at right now. I don't like it. Now, how the hell am I going to get better? And then I worked on it, and I used it to basically propel me to a plane that I wasn't at before, right? A certain level that I wasn't at before.
Yes.
So
I was going to get to the other, that's like a shameless plug. I hope, don't ever think I forgot.
No,
we're going to get there, because I'm still on this.
Yeah,
I wanted to know if any lows went into this book.
Went into this one specifically, to be honest with you, it wasn't necessarily specific lows like that. It was just more of vital situations that you can get out of what you do with yourself once you try and accomplish things, right? And also basically like I also put into the book, so there's like a discrepancy between like religion and basically inner spirituality in the book, and they kind of clash along with science. So it's like religion and religious figures and mythology is in there because I'm not a very religious person. Like I grew up in Catholicism and in Christianity, but around maybe like grade 8 I start to fall off from it. I didn't see the purpose behind it. I feel like there's a creator and there's something out there, but that's pretty much it. I don't believe all the stuff that's in the Bible. In respects to anybody else who does or who's watching, that's your view, but it's not mine. And I no, because some people, they get pissy over, I don't know why, but anyways, it's like I just have to put it out there. But
that kills me, man.
I put that in there in respect to what I have for the religion, because I feel like it's to me it's like such a cool mythology, like how Greek mythology was, Norse mythology was. Yes. That's how Christianity is to me, right? Yeah. And I combine it with spirituality, and I kind of bring the two together. But in regards to own personal things, I think my main character, on how he is in the book, not personal things, but I took past experiences and I kind of allowed me to create the character that he is today, right?
Is that character you?
No.
Does he mirror you in any way?
No, the only thing that he mirrors from me, if anything, is he's even a lot more jacked than I am, but that's for sure. You know what I mean? Like beyond any human capability. But I took I took the fitness realm of things from what I perceive to be physical fitness, and I put it onto his physical appearance as well, because it appealed to me. But my other character in there, her name's Aurelia, and again, once you read the book, you'll know. I actually part of her I based off of one of my cousins, because my cousin is she's like a very strong, go-getter, always no excuses type of person. Yeah. And I wanted to make a female character, and I kind of based the way that Aurelia is my character in the book off of her, right? They're not like, they don't talk the same, they don't look the same, but the idea of how this person in my book is to be was because part of it was because of my cousin. So that's something else that I took. But other than that, it was just things that I think that you should be basically trying to achieve throughout life, and vital situations that you need to put yourself through in order to get somewhere. So yeah.
Good. Thank you. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read it.
It's 486 pages.
Don't say that out loud.
But it'll keep you hooked from beginning to end.
I'll be reading this all year for 1 year, 12 months.
There's cliffhangers on pretty much every chapter, and from beginning to end, it starts in one way and it completely is in a different spectrum the second way, and it'll give you a very small idea of where it's going to go. But no, it's a good read, and I've gotten really good reviews so far from it. Nothing but 5-star. People who have read it, they told me they've loved it. I've gotten great review backs online from it, so everything is sounding really good.
Congrats, brother. I commend you.
Fist bump, yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, it's not done. It's only just starting, to be honest with you. But this piece of the puzzle's done.
I mean, like, yeah, exactly. Like we all know, you and I both know, the hardest part is starting.
Fuck.
So that's like the marathon continues.
Oh,
right?
Does it ever? Yeah.
Let's break away from this for a quick second and go into the segment of Ask the Club, because I'm aware that you brought some questions today. So let's focus on one or two of those questions.
Okay.
And this is like a segment that we bring guests in. Whenever we have a guest on the show, they bring some questions to present to the table, either to myself or the viewers or both, or it could be anything. I don't know these questions. They weren't pre-screened. They're just on the fly. You came up with them on your own, and we ask every guest to bring something to the table. So
I had to write them down because I was gonna forget. Now these are something.
Don't preface.
None at all.
Just
okay. I'm gonna say this is something that's personal to me. I don't want to bring it up, but yeah, that's it. Okay, so
wait, are we ready?
Yeah.
This is okay.
So this is called an ikigai. It's a Japanese basically system of how life is. This guy's already got to go off. Now,
this is a question?
No, this is a question.
Okay.
This is a question, okay?
Because now you're going to throw me off.
I'm going to throw you off. So it's a 4-piece question, but it all leads to one thing. So what do you love? What are you good at? What can you be paid for? And what does the world need? So this is one way that people can basically look at trying to basically find out what they want with themselves, right?
Yeah.
But this goes to you and whoever is watching, right? This is one way. If you don't know what you want to do, you're bored with your life, or you just hate yourself, or whatever the case is.
It's a structure to follow.
It's
to
a
kind of
structure
figure
to follow
out
to help you figure out what you want to do.
those things. Okay.
Yeah.
So go again. What do you
Okay,
love?
so what do you love is the first one.
Life.
No, it's like, what do you love to do? Sorry. So this is in regard. This is in regards to. So, now it's going the opposite way. So this is in regards to fulfillment and being of an individual. So what do you love? What makes you tick? What do you love to do? What wakes you up every morning?
I love to work.
Okay.
I love to work.
Let's go a bit deeper than that.
This guy. I'm bored without working. I like to keep busy. I like to.
What are we doing right now?
We're working.
Okay, but what is it though?
Talking.
Yes. On your podcast.
Yes.
So that's fair to say that's what you love to do, no?
Sure.
Yeah. So
well, I can't narrow it down to one, but I like to work.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
Do you want? You gotta go. Go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, and then the second one is, what are you good at? So, what are you good at? Like you were saying before, like you're good at pinpointing things. What are you good at? What can you say that you can do like pretty much better than anybody else?
See, I'm gonna get philosophical on things, but you want an actual an action, like something that.
Think about it as to help.
Because I was gonna say the first thing is like. Never mind. Go ahead.
Just think about it as to help you find what like you would basically want to do. So somebody would be answering this as like trying to piece their life together to try and structure themselves into something they can do for them for their life. Sorry.
Sure.
So what are you good at?
What am I good at? I would say I'm good at.
It's not easy, is it?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Because I want to give you the right answers. That's what I'm so fixated on in my mind. But maybe that's taking me away from the right answer. But I'm good at solving problems.
Okay.
I'm good at solving problems and supporting people within their problems.
Okay.
So like another dream job would be like I would love to be like a counselor or something like that, or like a therapist or something. So I'm good at solving problems.
Good at solving problems.
Yeah. I'm good at putting thoughts on paper and then bringing those thoughts or those ideas to life as well. So I don't know where I could fit in but I'm good at that.
Okay. So the next one is, now keep those answers in mind. The next stage would be, what can you be paid for? So something that you enjoy doing, or something that you have in mind that you'd love to do, whatever, can you make money from it? Yeah. Right? Or if you think of something that you would want to make money from, would you enjoy doing that? Right?
Yeah, I hate your questions, but I think I'm already doing it. Like I'm in social services, right? Okay. So that whole like solving problems thing and supporting people and talking to people, communicating. As much as I'm sort of like a semi-introvert, I'm also a people person, especially when I have to be. Especially I work with people. I'm in the business of people. This podcast, the work that I do, it's not like, oh, that's a 9 to 5 and then I have my art here. It's all intertwined. So I get paid to support folks, to I don't even say help anymore, because I don't think we can help anybody, especially folks who don't want to help themselves, but to support people and what they're going through on a constant basis. I think I'm good at that, and that's what I do now. I'm doing it already,
Now, again, like I said, we're, I think, on a bit of a different stage because we found what we wanted, but this is for even anybody who's watching,
anybody listening, anybody.
And then the last thing is, what does the world need, right? So what can you provide? Again, you're going to answer along the same lines, but what can you provide to the world that you think the world would need, that the world could use from what you have to offer?
From the things that I mentioned before, not philosophical or deep things?
No, it would be from the things that you mentioned before.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for that.
No?
That's kind of, what does the world
Okay, let's go more philosophical then. Just make it that way. Truth.
Yeah. I feel like the world needs to be more truthful to itself, like us as people. I think if we start being more honest with ourselves, I think that the world would be kind of like a better place. Lately, I've been realizing how in denial we all are.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I recognized that because I was in denial.
Mm-hmm.
So I acknowledged that in myself. And then I started to look around me, and I'm like, damn, everyone's lying to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's online or in real life, we're all running away from the thing that we know is right.
Mm-hmm.
We're afraid to like just admit when we're wrong, or we're afraid to face our truths, or I don't know what it is about us when it comes to that.
Because we don't want it to be true for some people.
Why?
Because they're scared of it. They're scared to face the reality of it. You know what I mean? I think that's part of it for some people. Or they're scared of becoming of what they actually should become. You know what I mean? But I think for majority of people, they just don't want to face the truth of what's in front of them. And the truth and facing what's in front of you is going to allow you to surpass that. For example, like we were talking about before the show, I read that book, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Great book, by the way, amazing. And he basically so this guy's considered to be the hardest man on the face of the earth. Like, he does ultra marathon runs. He's broken the pull-up record. He was a Navy SEAL. He was in the Army. He's done a bunch of shit. Yeah. And basically he says as he was growing up, he created a lot of facades to make himself feel like he was a part of shit. So for the longest time in school, he would cheat on his tests. You know, he said he would wear his pants below his ass and be begging. He was being friends with people who he didn't even care to be friends with. And he said the truth was always there. I was never happy, but I was acting like I'm happy to impress people I never gave a shit about, but who in return didn't give a shit about me, where I could have just told the truth about things and I could have liberated myself, right? That's what he gets to in the book, especially in the beginning. And these things happened to him because as he was brought up, his dad would beat him, and he came from a broken home. Yes. So it allowed him to have a different mentality. But my point is that it's there. You know it. You know what you have to do. Yeah. You just need to face it and overcome it and go through the bullshit of facing the truth and the hardship of getting through that reality. And then on the other side of things is generally an answer you're going to find that you want, right? Yeah.
I like your questions now.
Okay.
Well,
that's based off the
sense.
last one. But that's what he says. And I think majority of people have that problem. They just don't want to face it. And I'm guilty of it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing I really wanted to, especially when I was young, I wanted to change. I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't. You know what I mean? I was trying to act on certain things about myself just because other people thought it was cool. You know what I mean? You grow up, you realize that's stupid, and you need to be yourself. And if nobody likes who you are, then fuck them. They can go a different way.
But you gotta like yourself.
You have to
be happy with yourself.
You have to.
Yikes! Like,
if you're doing things that you know are for other people, or you're always trying to impress other people, or you're always going out of your way for people, you're screwing yourself over at the end of the day. It's one thing to do certain things for people because you care for them and you want to help them, but it's another to always purposely put yourself out there and just do things just for the sake of doing it to look a certain way, right?
Yes.
You can't be that way because you're only hurting yourself at the end of the day, right? You're only sinking lower into that abyss that you shouldn't be in.
Very true. Very true. I'm going through a phase right now, and I don't want to call it a phase. Like, it's a transition. Sorry, of like coming out of that lying to yourself kind of thing, or like holding yourself back because you're not being honest with yourself. I think the moment I decided that I want to be honest with myself, everything started to shift around me. Everything. It's as if like Thanos just came to snap. Like, it's just weird, you know, but I'm still sort of in that slump because now I have to readjust myself to that truth. Not to say that I've been lying out of my teeth about a bunch of stuff or lying about who I am per se, but I'm starting to realize that like even holding things back is a form of lying. Refusing to not share information, you know, is just a form of lying.
Because you're not being honest.
You're not being honest.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that anymore. I realize that you don't know who you're hurting. Sometimes you don't know that you're hurting people when you're just trying to live for yourself, you know. So
it's selfish. Would you purposely, and this isn't on the level of something really bad. It's just like call it as like little white lies. Would you hold yourself back from telling the truth to somebody to make them feel better because you know it's going to upset them?
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
But who wants to do that anymore? Because then you're taking on the burdens of other people. You're taking on their feelings, or like, who am I to protect anybody?
Yeah.
It's not my duty to protect anybody. My duty is me.
Yeah.
I can control myself. I can't control other people. And I think when we start to lie to people, we're trying to control them.
Yeah.
We're trying to control how they feel about us. Who am I to do that when I'm not even taking care of myself in that manner? Like, I gotta be real. I gotta not, I gotta be real with myself and be real with people and give them the opportunity to choose whether or not they want to be around me, be with me, be my friend, be whatever. As long as I'm good.
Yeah.
And what will make you good is if you're honest with yourself. Grandma always said the truth will set you free. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy how when I was younger, I thought about that saying in the sense where you're lying to other people. But lately I've been thinking about it, and it's like it's also about yourself. Yeah. It will set you free. The truth will set you free.
Yeah.
Not others. There's a reason, not others. You.
There's a reason why that phrase exists.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
What other sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that, and it's like you're doing the person a disservice too on lying to them, because they can come back and figure out that, either you were lying to them or what you're saying wasn't truthful. Not only do you look stupid, but then it falls back on them not trusting you anymore. And you just have to get over the fact that if they don't like what you have to say, they're a big enough person to understand. And if they don't like it, that's, like you said, it's their problem. Yeah. You got to look at it from that standpoint too, where I'm being honest with you and telling you the truth for your own sake, because it's for the better of, of the whole conversation. And if you can't be an adult and I'm not talking about saying it in a rude way, I'm just being blunt and nice about it. And if you can't understand that and see that from a mature standpoint, then there's nothing I can do, but I've done my part and tell you the truth.
Is there something that you could think of off the top that you've maybe lied to yourself about? Whether it's been now in your present or in your past? You know what?
Telling myself I was where I wanted to be in my early 20s. So I like I said earlier, I had done heating and air conditioning. I was telling myself, no, this is a good job. And it always sticks with me because I remember getting up in the morning, going to those houses, taking out the furnaces or air conditioners, lugging them up the stairs, or going on top of house for chimneys, like all kinds of hard shit. And, props to people who are in trades. It's not easy, but it's not for me. Yeah. And I remember telling myself, my uncle and my dad, who would say, trades is a good job, just do it. Like it's good money. And I started to let that mentality kind of sink in. And I would just lie to myself all the time and say, like, you'll have a good pension when you retire. You'll have money put aside. Don't worry. Who cares? At the end of the day, you're making good money, or it's not a bad job. It's a respectable job. And I was just lying to my inner voice saying, fuck this. I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I hate this shit. And I was listening to, when people tell you these things, like go to school or do this or that, they're only trying to impress on what they think is good for you because that's what they know. Yeah. Right. So that's what my uncle.
They're projecting the fears onto you.
They're projecting fears on you, but they're projecting it in a way where it's coming from a good place because that's all they know.
That's all they know.
Right.
Yes,
so that's what my dad and my uncle were trying to do, and because they grew up in a time where it was a lot different than ours, where it was just like go to school, make money, have kids, family,
house, picket fence.
That's it. You're good. Yeah. That's the fucking.
Maybe a dog to add some spice to it.
Exactly, and that's the dream. But it's not like that anymore. And then I finally just got out of that loop, and I was just like, no, I got to find myself. I got to do something else. There's something there that I don't have that I need, and I can feel it. Like there's something missing. There's a link missing. And that was a pretty big point in my time. And it stretched a little bit after, and it was stretched before, but that really made me switch because I fucking hated lugging those things up the stairs. I couldn't stand it. Oh my god, those furnaces. I just remember getting up early, having to deal with bullshit, go get this coffee, go get these tools. It wasn't for me.
When's the last time you felt angry?
When's the last time I felt angry?
What's the last thing you got
like legitly angry?
Angry about? What was something you got angry about?
You know what? I can't remember, to be honest with you. Like angry where you want to like lose your shit, right?
Just angry. I feel like those emotions, right? They're just moments. Sadness, anger, happiness, etc. They're moments. So, when's the last time that you were angry? And let's see how long your happiness has lasted. This happy stage that you might be in at the moment. Because it's just a moment until you're angry again.
No, because your emotions fluctuate, and you have to deal with them as they come, because you're never going to be happy 100%. It doesn't work. Probably when this stuff happened with my book, basically with the cover, where the guy was saying like, oh, this image was taken, this and that, and it had to be taken down, and just to make sure that it was done properly, my publisher, we took down the image and we put up another one, but
for the cover
art of the book, the cover art of the book,
yeah.
which was like bullshit in its own right. But it was just like this person's trying to basically stunt me from my growth, and it was starting to get to me. But I've come to a point in my life where I can deal with anger in a good way. I don't act like I used to immaturely when I was younger, but it still brought me to a point where it's just like, fuck, I just want to be able to do what I got to do and write and move forward, right? That's probably the most recent one, to be honest with you. But something really bad has to happen for me to get really angry. I'm a pretty calm and passive individual, and I just focus on what I need to do and get it done. But I never think about the problem. I just think about the solution, because I can't control that. I can only control what I can do for the solution, right? Yeah. You have to work with what you have in your control. If you try and really act on things that you don't have control over, that's how you start getting anxiety and anger and resentment and all this shit. And then you get into a state where you don't really start pushing people away and you don't want to do anything for anybody. But that's pretty much the mindset that I told myself a while ago. But it's like you said, it's always going to be in waves. It'll fluctuate, but you just got to know that you can only control what you can at the same time, or at the time being. And if that's what you're doing, what else is there to worry and get upset about?
What's another question that you might have? Okay, so again, I'm going to tell you a little bit of the backstory of it. So think of it, it's like a proverb. I hate this guy.
No, it's got to go. It's got to go this way. So it's like it's a parable and a proverb at the same time. So think of a tree. Okay, there's leaves on a tree. Just bear with me. There's leaves on a tree.
Yeah.
Leaves fall very frequently. They basically grow and they fall off very fast. Okay. Then there's the bark of the tree, tree branches and shit. Not the bark, sorry, the tree branches. After a certain, my bad. After a certain period of time, the tree branches, they grow stale and dead, and they break off and they fall to the floor.
Yes.
Then there's the roots of the tree. Okay, that's the foundation. Those are the ones that go into the ground. They seep all over the place. They stay in and they stay with you forever.
Yes.
Now, my question is, so think of the leaves, the branches falling off, and the foundation, the roots, as people.
Yes.
There's people like the leaves that are going to come and go. There's people like the branches that'll stay there for a while and leave. And then there's people like the foundation, the roots that'll stay in the foundation and are still there in your life.
Yes.
Who is one person from each of those phases that had an impact on your life?
Okay, you win now. This is a good question.
Okay.
A very good question.
That's why I had to explain it that way, though.
This is great. Did you Google this one? You Google this question?
It's a parable that I came across from a while ago, and then I had to Google to make sure it was the right thing.
No, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, my root.
I guess
the roots.
Start with the easiest one, the foundation. Now, the impact that they had, it's like something that made you who you are today. That's the point of it too. Like an effect, whether it was a bad situation you had with them or good, whatever
for sure.
it may be.
I would have to say my mother.
Yeah.
And I know it's a bit like, oh yeah, a family member, but my mom, she's been like my father and my mom. I don't know my father or anything like that, or any connection to that side, like not a picture, nothing. So my mom has played both roles. So of course she's like two people in one, and a lot of hurt and love is coming from one individual. And everything that I've been through with her has definitely shaped me. Like even now, seeing how close we are today, I see how much of my mom's son I am. And I get a lot of who I am today from her. And I wouldn't change anything. You know what I mean? And she still talks to me like I'm still her baby boy, and she can teach me things even today, and still does. When I need something, when I need an extra push, that battery pack, my mom knows what to say, what to do, where to bring me, everything. And it surprises me that it doesn't surprise me. We're not that far apart in age. She's still young, and she had me young, and I'm her only boy. I'm the first child, so we have that connection, But of course, there's been a lot of pain too. More love than pain, though.
Yeah.
And she's my rock. I would say that. my foundation. I wouldn't be me without her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay.
Branches.
So somebody who came into your life at a certain point, had an impact, and then now they're gone.
A person that I called my brother.
Mm.
He was
Like a very close friend, obviously.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
I would say he was here for a very long time, and then that's it, because things change, seasons change,
As the point of the story.
money changes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
So, I think about him from time to time, not the bad stuff, the good stuff, the stuff that still make me laugh and
Mhm.
smile. And it's like you gotta love people from afar sometimes, because you might outgrow them, or there are just some things you don't want to be involved in anymore, and you have to separate yourself from people.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that person, yeah.
Okay. And then the last one is
Every girl I've ever met. And then we'll leave it at that.
That's a fair. All right.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's your answer.
What does it mean to you to be a Gemini? Tauruses and Geminis are not supposed to connect in any way. Definitely not in relationship form.
Mm-hmm.
But I did some research, and it says that our signs are okay when it comes to being friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I have lasted this long.
Mm-hmm.
So what does I don't know if you believe in that stuff, but regardless, what does from growing up to now, what does being a Gemini mean to you?
Well, first and foremost, I don't believe in it 100%.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna give like a scientific answer to it and like put something to the equation, and again, I've been told this by so many people, like you're a Gemini, spot on, all this shit, whatever. I'm like, I don't know, but I think in regards to what it is, it's that's what people tell me all the time. But in regards to what it is,
I try to hold my laugh, and then I looked at you, and
I saw it in the corner of my eye. It's just like it's a dual personality between two different attitudes of bringing out the person who is the Gemini.
Yeah, because the common thing they say two-faced, blah.
Yeah,
right?
they're
there's
like,
always
no,
a negative connotation attached to that sign.
And basically, people would always get it wrong. They say
Stigma,
like you're
yeah.
a snake, like you're nice in one face, and then you're a
Right.
snake in the other. But
Right.
it's really
But
not.
there's
that.
a duality.
There's a duality, but it could be for example, like I have my introverted, stay at
Side,
home, work on my shit type of side, and then more less now than it was when I was younger. As I've gotten older, is go out, party, not even party, but have a good time,
Yes.
drink a bit here and there, just go enjoy the night, whatever it is.
Yes.
I'm more introverted now. I've become a lot more introverted as I've gotten older because I love focusing on my goals that I want to fulfill.
Yeah.
But I think for me, that's what a Gemini is and what I perceived it to be. Because I used to believe in this stuff a lot when I was younger.
Yes.
But then as I got older, I'm kind of science-based. I'm always open-minded, as you know, right? Always. I never throw anything under the bus right away. But towards my mentality and how I am, I'm very like science-based in that fact. But I think that's what I would say Gemini is, more or less.
Good.
What about
For you.
For me.
For
For
you.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I believe it to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
The natal chart and stuff like that. I looked that stuff up, and Thithi kind of taught me some stuff on that stuff too. I mean, I like to leave room for any possibility. I wouldn't say to the T, but it's very intriguing when things are spot on, especially when it comes to your personality traits or your characteristics, certain characteristics that that people are like, yeah, like the stubbornness stuff. I've been stubborn. I'm sure most people are stubborn. People like their way or the highway, but I've been that to the T. My mom's very stubborn as well, and we're both in the same month, but she's an Aries, another animal with the horns and stuff like that. So when it comes to compatibilities and stuff, again, like you never know.
Yeah.
You don't know. I like to leave
it open. Like
I've connected with people that it has said
it's like,
that
sorry, I can't see you or be with you because you're an Aquarius.
because
It's just like no.
I've connected with folks that are not like signs that I'm not compatible with, that the literature says that I'm not, and I've connected with them the most compared to the ones that say I am
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be with. So it's cool. It's cool. It's fun literature.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is some sort of truth to it with the stars and everything like that. When you're born, the
Mhm.
months, the numbers. I'm big into numerology and stuff like that too. So I don't know. You never know. But
Question.
yes.
Actually, it just came to my mind right now, and I was just like, okay, when I get something, I gotta throw it out there.
Yeah.
Who or what did you have to give up in order for you to become right now?
Me.
Yeah, like you personally.
No, me.
So what have you had to give up, or who have you had to brush aside, or what have you had to give up?
Me. A piece of me. I've had to shed me.
Okay, but like
a layer of myself.
further, like into that, like.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah. Like I know it's gonna be.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had to shed, and I'm still going through it. Like I'm in a shedding process at the
Mhm.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you wake up one morning and you realize like, yo, I don't want to be like this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be better. I have so much potential, greater potential, but I'm holding myself back.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a different level of self-awareness.
Mm-hmm. Was there a
it comes-
specific situation that made you go like that at one point?
Yes. Will I share it at the moment? No.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
off the air, I will.
Okay.
But many. There's an
Yeah.
amount, like a combination of,
Mm-hmm.
a combo of things that have occurred. And at some point, you just want to stop that stuff that's happening that
Mhm.
you're kind of responsible for, especially other people's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to hurt people anymore. You don't want to hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not who you really are.
Mhm.
You're maybe just being that way because of, it's like a chain reaction, right? With every action, there's a reaction. Maybe I've been hurt. I've realized that I've been hurt so much
Mm-hmm.
that I'm starting to hurt people. And maybe I've been hurting people for a while because of what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to do that anymore. Who the fuck wants to do that? Who
Mhm.
wants to worry about, like, shit?
Mm-hmm.
I want to live freely.
Mm.
That's not living free.
Mm-hmm.
Hurting people or lying to people or withholding information or living in secrecy. I want to just be open. I want to be an open book, and I want to promote that. How can I promote what I'm doing?
Why do you think that was happening though, or why do you think people do that?
Fear. I think fear. You mentioned earlier about like maybe protecting somebody else's feelings,
Mm-hmm.
taking that upon yourself, or being looked at a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But who would want to be looked at any other way other than who they are? And only you know who you are.
People who are scared.
Some people are pieces of shit.
Yeah, they are.
I think everybody has a role to play.
Mhm.
How else would we know what that looks like? How would we know what being good looks like if we don't have the pieces of shit that
Mhm.
exist?
Mm-hmm.
But some people, I'm aware that some people have piece of shit moments.
Mm-hmm. It's not
Struggle.
who they are.
It's not who they are.
Mhm.
It's maybe mistakes. People make mistakes.
Mhm.
Very good people make bad mistakes
Mm-hmm.
based on their environments or what they've been through, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to acknowledge that and
Mhm.
and actually want to change.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing will change until you change it, I feel. So
Mm-hmm.
I think in order to be me, who I am right now, sitting in front of you, I've had to acknowledge that. And that's hurt me the most, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledging my wrongdoings and not wanting to do that. Because now you're shedding. You're in a transitional mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when's the last time you changed something about yourself?
I think my last relationship, actually, just not putting up with certain shit anymore. And, well, because we talked about it, but just not.
I hated her.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, it's all good.
I think it's
Just-
my role as your boy to hate your ex. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that.
Just,
fuck.
watch it, careful. Watch yourself. It's okay.
Go ahead.
Technical difficulties. But no, it's, honestly, just,
There's no tooth?
no, you're good.
Like fail army or something? Oh my god. I already have a chipped tooth. Too.
It's
Yeah.
okay. That's bound to happen at one point. No, it's just realizing after that relationship that not allowing yourself to settle for something. I don't want to say lower than you, but not something that you're not that like you're not worth it, right? Like knowing that you're good enough for whatever you put into, whether it's a relationship, your work, life, community, whatever. And if they don't accept it for what it is, or if they're going through their own battle, so to speak, that you need to know when to pull out and understand that, you know, it's not the right time for you to be there, and to understand that you can have more and better than what's occurring at that point in time. So that was the last time. But again, I also believe that every shitty thing that happens to you, like there's a good reason for it. Like there's something you can take out of it that's really good, right?
Listen, a wise man told me that the universe, all of this stuff, the bad stuff, is working for you, not against you.
That's what I'm getting at, basically.
It's not working against you.
It's
We think it is.
It's Tony Robbins for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard. Someone told me this.
Yeah.
But it's I'm starting to realize that
Same.
like it's for your benefit. Actually, it's not against you.
Mhm.
But sometimes we're so caught up in something that we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. You know what I mean? We think that, woe is me. Fuck, why am I going through this? Why do I need, you know, I asked myself this yesterday. Why do I need to go through this in order to
achieve your shit, whatever?
Yeah. Like, why do I got to go through this? Why can't I just be taught something and be like, okay, because the saying, who don't hear will feel. If you don't hear all the signs, that gut feeling, the universe is going to make you feel
it. Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
So that you can finally make that change that you want to, you're supposed to adjust or change into, you know, or transition into. Prior to that, the universe is sending you signals.
Yeah.
You're just not, you're not listening. You're not listening.
Yeah. Or you don't want to listen.
You don't want to listen. You're denying it. You're pushing it away, trying to control. No. I'm going to try to control it more and do it my way. The universe will be like, okay, watch. I'm going to make you feel this now. And then what's going to happen? You're going to change. Yeah. And it's going to hurt you, but you're going to change.
You either change or you stay there. That's what it comes down to. I feel like some people just end up staying there, and they like you said, they start feeling it after, and they don't end up doing anything about it. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think it comes down to like when you don't see those red flags or those signs, or you're trying to make it work so bad. If you're trying to work so hard, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to put yourself in it 100% and keep pushing and pushing and pushing to forcefully make it work. It should just, you know, there's going to be work involved, obviously, but there should be flow, right? It should just flow together. And at the what's that?
A wise man also told me relationships.
Yeah.
I was having this discussion about relationships with someone.
This guy's a wise man.
No, it's another wise man.
Okay.
He said relationships are like farts. If you have to push, it's most likely shit.
That's funny. Oh God.
It's a stupid thing.
No,
I heard that shit.
Bottom line, it comes down to that. He's right, but
you shouldn't have to push.
No, I mean, out of that, like I said, I took a good lesson from that. I learned things from it. You learn back, and you know, reflect on it yourself, and then it allowed me to be, you know, open. And then I'm in the relationship I am now, which I'm very happy with. Everything's been going good. I'm happy for
you, by the way, because I didn't think you would meet someone of this caliber, someone better. Well, it should always be better, number one. Yeah. You should always go up. But I could tell that you're happy with this new person. Yeah. So I'm happy for you in that, because I know the last situation and nothing was happening.
Oh, it was a shit fest. Yeah.
Nothing was happening. Yeah. Like, I didn't feel like there was
no growth.
Is it an ironic that with your new person, this got created? And this is not to give everything to her.
No, of course not.
But there is some inspiration that comes from that prior to her. I know. There was no... every man
needs a good woman to help turn the neck and go forward.
I'm sorry. We do.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to say that.
No, it's because you need somebody who's going to push you forward and empower you.
Understand also to put that battery pack. We all need a battery pack. We can't do everything by ourselves. No, everything feels greater when you got a partner just next to you that fucks with you and your creation and is creating on her end too.
Supports you, empowers you, is there for you, helps you. You could do
that for her. Like it just, the shit feels good. Yeah. If you got somebody that ain't doing nothing, nada, zilch, you think you're going to get shit done? You're going to spend your time focusing on trying to make her do something. Yeah. And then your shit gets left to the side. Yeah. So that's what I saw. You know, when I first met her, I'm like, when she's walking down the stairs, sluggish, I'm like, it doesn't match.
Mhm.
It's not matching. How are you this and then this?
Mhm.
But opposites attract.
Mhm.
And this is not to talk bad about anybody. It's just what's done is done, and it was meant, you
Mhm.
know. But I'm happy that you know, the person you're with, she
Move
works
forward.
out.
Yeah.
She's into her body and her fitness and all of that.
She
Like,
fucking hates it, but she does it though.
she does it.
Yeah.
You know, I am happy for you.
Thanks,
You
bro.
know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely it is like, all, you know, stupid and cheesy shit aside, it's nice when you have somebody there that, you know, can support you and will be there for you and actually like gives a shit about what you're trying to do with your life and doesn't laugh at it but supports it and will help you, because like I said, she's helped me correct a lot of shit in the last phase of editing with this stuff, and she's done other things for me as well, and it's nice when somebody's there to help you and support you and then just be there for you at the same time.
Well, shout out to the new girl.
Oli. She's probably no, she is watching right
She's
now.
watching.
Yeah,
She's watching. Shout out to Oli.
But yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk about. Let's get your question, the third one, out the way. And I know you brought some quotes that you want to present to the people.
Yeah, I love quotes, just for whoever's listening. So I have a fucking binder of them at home, and I have a nice file of them on my laptop, because I think quotes are spoken truths from somebody's point in their life and that they like went through. So I really resonate with them. Well, we both do.
Yes.
So this last, again, I gotta go into it a little bit. And when I went to Japan, I actually saw this there.
Yeah.
So it's called kintsugi. Okay.
Yes.
Don't try and say it. It's hard.
Kintsugi.
Kintsugi. Yeah.
Kintsugi.
Yeah. Kintsugi. Yeah. So
Kintsugi.
basically what this is, it's the art form of breaks and repairs that are basically formed back together with either gold or platinum, and it's to show. So think about like a pot, like a vase or a cup, something that broke, right? And then you glue it back together with either platinum or gold, and in those broken parts you can see the gold and the platinum there, and it's to show that those are the scars of your past and your present, and then there will be in the future. So it's to signify that even though that you're an individual and you've been broken, you can always use your scars, and there will always be there to show, and you can use them, and basically they're a part of you, that they're going to be there for you.
Like
so
a reminder.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what it's like, a reminder basically, and that they're always going to be there and that you shouldn't shun them. So my point is, what's a scar that was significant to you?
You want to hear some funny shit?
Whatever,
There's by my work, right? And I've been working at this place for about a year.
Okay.
There's a silo right next to like where I work, like this big little, not big little, but this big, I don't even know what they use this thing for, but there's some graffiti on it, and it says the word scar on it right next to where I work. And I only noticed it the past, like, I think it was like this week. This week was the first time I noticed it. And I think scars have played a little theme in my life the past, like through this transition that I'm in. I'm acknowledging my scars. So it's just funny that you're bringing this shit up right now. But anyway,
again, it's to show, you know, these significant scars that are there, but that made you stronger, because it helped piece you and become a better and stronger individual.
A scar.
Holy fuck.
I don't know if this has made me a better person though. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to share that scar, but okay. No, I can't share that.
Touching on some deep stuff here.
I have a lot of scars, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm still dealing with these scars though. Like I don't think I have a scar that's like that has been fully healed yet. where I'm at a point where like that it's a reminder, and I'm what were the words that you chose, like overcoming it, or it's
there just to basically signify that you've overcome it, and it's how it builds your how it builds you as a person, how it shows what characteristics you have. It's to show that anybody can be pieced back together with the scars that they had in their past.
Yeah, no.
Nothing at all.
There are many scars.
You just don't want to share.
I don't think. Yeah, there are many scars.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many. I mean, I'm still alive today.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll share something. I mean, I was.
Well, yeah, whatever you think is viable.
I mean, I was, touched
mm-hmm.
by a male
mm-hmm.
when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, very inappropriately, and I was like a teenager and stuff like that, and like very vulnerable moment
mm-hmm.
of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how much it affected me until like later on. Like this was when I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
16. Yeah. And I mean, I remember it as if it was just yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Just being taken advantage of, kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
in a moment like that. That's definitely a mark on my body.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I haven't figured out yet if it is a reason as to why I have the type of relationships that I have, or maybe why I don't have many male friends in my life. Like I haven't figured that part out,
Mm-hmm.
not yet. I don't know. I don't know if it triggers me that way or not. Like I'm not sad about it. I just know that this thing happened to me. So I don't know. It's just marked on the body, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. That was a lot deeper than I thought. But at the end of the day, like it says, it's just, these are things that they it's like a pottery barn. They make you stronger, they make you grow, and they become a better characteristic at the end of the day.
I mean, I'd be dead if I didn't really want to be here or like overcome certain things, But
mm-hmm.
you start to think about things that have happened to you, and you have to assess yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Am I being the way that I am because of my past?
Mm-hmm.
Are there things from my past that I haven't dealt with yet?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to bring a new child into this world before I deal with my own shit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big one too.
Questions like that, I think one should ask themselves
mm-hmm.
before, trying to be like
a savior to somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How can I love you if I can't love me? That saying kind
mm-hmm.
of thing. How can I treat you better if I haven't treated myself better yet?
Mm-hmm.
Or in the best way?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta take care of yourself. Once you take care of yourself, everything around you will work out.
Mm-hmm.
But you taking care of yourself shouldn't be at the detriment of others.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's something I'm learning too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
Dare to share a scar? And don't fucking hold back.
No.
I just shared some shit.
Be
real. Who touched you?
No,
I'm joking.
no.
I'm joking. I'm sorry.
No touching. No. No, there was honestly there was a point in my life when I was younger. I was between 8 and 9 years old. I wasn't happy with myself. My dad would actually get mad at me a lot because I wasn't doing too well in school. And like I said, back then it was really, really big thing in my house. Like if you didn't do well in school, it's like you're underperforming. You kind of weren't anything. And this isn't to say anything to my parents. I love them. It's just things that you go through, and it's basically how you're brought. Like I was brought up. My nose. I was brought up in an Italian household. It was pretty strict when I was younger. It's not that my parents were loving; they were very loving. But the way that they disciplined and did certain things was of a different means, right? And I came to a point where, my dad, the way he would discipline wasn't of the best means, and he would say certain things that weren't relevant to how discipline would be done nowadays, and it put me in a bad mood, and I was depressed, and I actually thought about like just pretty much offing myself and killing myself, and I wasn't happy. And what actually brought me out of that was getting into Marvel and reading the superheroes and basically just looking at different stories, such as like my favorites were Captain America and Wolverine, and wanting to become one of those superheroes. And I mean, at the time you're young, you don't know any better, but basically have a life like that that's make believe and and bring my thought process out of that. And you know, since then, I spoke about it with my dad, and we, you know, talked about. He didn't even realize the way that he was being about it when I was younger was having that effect, and everything, even, you know, not too long after that was good. But I had to go see a therapist for that just to make sure, because it came up again later on in my life, and I didn't even know exactly really what triggered it. You know what I mean? I didn't know what the hell was causing it to be there, but I was just, you know, I was having some panic attacks and I was having anxiety, and then that would come up in my dreams. So yeah, that was one thing that really stuck with me ever since then. But now, you know, I look at it as just something that was in my past, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? You can't let it hold your, you know, basically keep you down. Like me and my dad and even my mom, we've always had a wonderful relationship nonetheless.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that at the end of the day, there's no grip on you anymore from things that happened in the past. It's gone. It's done. There's nothing physically or emotionally or spiritual there basically trying to push you back. Yeah. But yeah, that was one scar that happened when I was younger. But yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, no problem.
So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, did you want to say something?
Quotes.
No,
Okay.
I mean just now. Did you have some?
No.
I
That was
cut you off.
No.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we want to say thank you for tuning in and stuff like that. If you're still with us, almost 2 hours in, this is going to be the longest episode of the show.
It's a long episode,
but I think it's good content. It's good substance. It's good information. You're learning about two individuals today. You know, the show, I haven't put out an episode since episode 14. That was a few weeks back. So us going long tonight is not an issue. I think it's good to, even though the episode is long, we're going hard. And Dr. Phil says, go hard, don't go long. So
does he say that?
Yeah, he says, go hard, don't go long. Like when you're in a meeting with somebody, right? And with, let's say, your coworkers or something. You always got a person in there that's going to talk and talk and talk and try to get their point across. And no one's listening to that person who's going on forever.
Like, fuck off, yeah.
But that person who's sitting down, very observant, and chooses when to speak and ensures that when they do speak, it's something that everybody will pay attention to. And just, you know, just little dab here, little dab there.
Yeah.
That's the person going strong and going hard. Don't go long. Go strong.
Make it count, basically.
And I think today we're making it count with this episode. It's a lot of good stuff here. I might split it up into 2 episodes so I could get a break next week, but we'll see. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Adam is not just the author of one book, but he also has some online 2 other books that he wanted to just talk about. So tell the people about those.
So it's called From the Inside Out, meaning like everything that you have within you is enough to get you through what you need to do. And then it's basically a small series just on Kindle, and they're free. I'm not charging anything for them. I'm making them open to whoever wants to read them. And the first one of the series it's called The Courageous Heart. So it's basically about courage and how you can utilize it, how you should utilize it, what ways in your life you can use it. And then the second one is called The Truth of Consistency. So how you can, again, utilize consistency to better yourself in your life, and how basically to enable it and start using it. And there's like small steps in there that you can use in order to, you know, take little encouraging steps and moments to use to your advantage to get consistency going. And then my next one, I'm actually writing it right now as well, along with the second part to this book, is the Search for Happiness. And then the one after that, I believe, is, I mean, it's a long way down the line, but the Valor of Truth. So it's about truth. But the happiness one, I'm going to take a bit more.
Look at this guy, man.
The happiness one,
Who is this guy?
I don't know.
Who are you?
I'm a machine. I'm just crank. I want to crank him up.
Can we answer that question in the end? We're going to answer that question in the end.
Fine, we'll do it.
Okay, we'll go back to that.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. But The happiness book is going to be a lot longer just because I view it as like, this is what makes me happy now and is what got me to this point. There could be other things down the road in like 10 years, 5 years that make me happy then. So I'm going to do another version of it. But yeah, those are the other books I have. And I have a fitness one coming out, but that'll come out in probably another 5 months or so.
Now, if you've heard anything on the show, ladies and gentlemen, anything that you want to comment on, anything that you want to share or inquire about, please touch base at Who How Club on Instagram or on Twitter. And you could also join the mailing list and send us an email at whohowclub. whohowclub.com is the website, and whohowclub@gmail.com is the email address. If you've heard anything that Adam has said or that I have said, any questions that we've asked each other, and you want to share your input or your stories, if you want to remain anonymous, send a DM, let us know, send an email, and we'll keep in touch and touch base and just build this club up, because that's what we're here for. We're here to just communicate, be open with one another, share, and be as honest as we can, and just, we are the who's and hows, so why not take these opportunities to learn from each other and to teach each other and support one another as well, and figure out the hows of what makes us, what has made us to be who we are today. That's the how of our lives, and that'll shape us into who we are now and who we become in the future. So yeah, with that said, Adam also brought some quotes today that he wanted to share with the club. He's big on quotes. That's fine. He's big on quotes, so he wants to share that. And then, yeah.
Good to go.
We're good to go.
All right. So I got 4 of them. The first 2 are the biggest ones.
Hold on.
But
share? All right. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Adam is here. He was a man of his quotes. He has always introduced me to quotes from the day that I met him to today. What he's going to do right now is present some quotes that have some meaning to him. And we might dissect them, but he's going to share them with the people. And if you guys have any comments on these quotes, do you got the site? Will you cite these quotes or no?
I got them right now.
All right, perfect. So, Adam, take it away with your quotes.
Okay, so the first one's by J.K. Rowling, author. Goes hand in hand. But she said, you might never...
I thought you didn't like Harry Potter.
No, I respect her. I don't like her story. But I don't care for it, I should say that. But what it did is great.
Yeah.
So she said, one of her biggest quotes anyway, she said, you might never fail on the scale I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not lived at all, in which case you fail by default. So that one hits home. That's a good quote. Like, basically, just to dissect it, it's saying you might be scared to do something and you're so cautious to move forward in anything, then you might as well have not lived at all, because you're not going to take a risk and get anything done. So you're actually losing by doing that. Like she said, you lose by default because you fail by default, because you can't take a risk. You can't do anything, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to amount to nothing. So that one for me just really hit home in the fact of that you got to take risks in order to achieve something.
Yeah.
Whether it be like a mediocre risk or a high risk, you got to take a risk. You got to move forward. Otherwise, you're never going to get anything done. You can't wait for it to feel right. You just got to do it. And that's it.
I agree.
You want to touch the second one?
Sure.
So this one is... it's more of it goes, I have only a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it, just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. So he's
did I write that?
He's talking about time. It's by Benjamin E. Mays.
Okay.
So that's
a poet?
No, well, he's not a poet, but like that's just the way he worded it, basically.
Okay.
And then the third one is, the foolish man seeks happiness in the distance, the wise man grows it under his feet.
Say that again.
The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance, the wise man grows it under his feet. So stop looking for extrinsic motivation and stuff. It's all from intrinsic. It's within you. Grow it from within you.
Yes. Happiness.
Mainly happiness, anything, love, joy, courage.
Your future.
Everything. It's from within you, right?
I believe. I like the second one. I think.
The quote, or the rhyme?
Yes,
Yeah.
not just because it rhymed, but also like time. The focus is time in that quote, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that I have my own thoughts on time and the concept of time, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and the structure that we live under and stuff. Like if you look at all the clocks in my house, they don't tell the right time.
Yeah, I
They're
noticed that.
either-
And I didn't know if.
the they're either hours ahead or hours behind, because I feel like within my own space I want to live in my own time. You know, only my
Interesting.
phone has, you know, the right time or whatever, and obviously I got to get up for work tomorrow or whatever, but I do believe in using your time wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't believe in time as a structure, I do believe that whatever time is, using it wisely is important and not wasting it and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So it's like it's important to you, obviously, but you don't let it control you in the fact where you should be doing something at a certain time. When you're working, you're in your moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it even comes to like, I know that at work, this might sound stupid to some folks because some folks just want to leave whenever their shift is over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if I stay back,
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at it as like, oh, I'm wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
This is I'm in the moment.
Mhm.
I'm choosing to be here for a little bit to support whoever, or like to be involved in something that I love,
Mm-hmm.
especially within my own place. I want to live without limits in
Mhm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So especially when I have a day off, you can't talk to me about time.
Mm-hmm.
On Sundays when I fast, I leave my phone here
Mm-hmm.
and I just roam the streets and run my errands or whatever, you know? But still, using your time wisely is important. You don't want to waste that, especially on wasted energies,
Mm-hmm.
things that aren't important and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Everything
So-
goes to the fulfillment of what you want now.
Yeah.
That's the way I view it too.
Yes.
Like, at least 80%.
Yes. Agreed.
And the last one, so this, I might have said this one last time, but I don't remember. But this is,
What last time? You mean when we met?
well, no, the last time we talked.
Nigga. This guy- What did I tell you before the show?
Oops. But I can't remember though. But it's
Okay,
my-
ladies and gentlemen, I have to give this guy. So Adam has been on. Nah, I'm not even. I'm gonna edit this out. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
That's it. It's actually my favorite quote. So it's by Albert Einstein. It goes, "Logic will take you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere."
Wait. Logic will take you from A to B.
Logic will take you from A to B,
But
but imagination will take you everywhere.
Oh, imagination. Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically the premise of what I think. It's logic. In order for you to do something and be great, you have to imagine like vicariously and very aggressively and kind of stupid in a way where nobody's going to believe you,
Oh,
right?
of course.
You have to be that way, because if it's just logical, you're never going to move in a direction aggressively that you need to.
Well,
Right.
that's the herd. I equate logic to the herd. I mean, there aren't many people that are fearless enough to think outside of the box and share those thoughts or those imaginations that they might have, or the possibilities and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I like that he's saying that logic will get you from A to B. Everybody knows that. I
Mhm.
think that's public knowledge. But that imagination that not everyone is able to grasp,
Mm-hmm.
or, you know, the possibility of something else,
Mm-hmm.
or doing this in a different way,
Yeah.
it scares people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I think I'm a part of that percentage of the imagination, you know.
Dream big.
100%.
That dream so big that it scares you, right?
100%.
Yeah, and just go after it. And if it scares you, you're doing something right. So I think that's the main thing, is that you're moving in a direction where you want to create something of yourself that you don't, or other people for that matter, don't think is possible, but that you can achieve. Hence, like you said,
Yeah.
imagination.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good quotes.
those are all the quotes.
Please, if you guys have any quotes on your end and you want to share with the club, send in some quotes. Dina, you have any quotes you want to share? Any quotes on the top of your mind or your brain?
Anything at all?
What's a quote?
Honestly, don't know. I can't think of one right now.
Hold on, I think you've told me one.
I have so many, but I'm just not.
I know it's hard to bring them up on the spot.
I wasn't even thinking. I'm pretending that like I'm
On the mic, man. Put your lips on the mic.
I don't have like I don't.
Can't hear you. The people can't hear you.
I imagine myself watching this show in a box. That has a
Which show?
I-
This show?
This show.
Oh.
Like a two-way mirror where you guys can't see me, but I can see you.
Oh,
So when you call me out, I'm like,
what the
you
fuck?
can see me too. Like I'm not in the right.
It's like
I
we're
don't know.
breaking the fourth wall.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have any quotes? You have quotes though.
I
You've
do,
told
but-
me some quotes in the past.
You have any on your phone?
No.
No.
I usually like when I'm just in regular speech.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm in regular speech or I'm talking to somebody or I'm having like an in-depth conversation, they just come up and they're usually my own.
Mhm.
I don't really quote other people.
It's because it relates to that conversation or that specific thing you're
Exactly.
talking about.
So
Yeah.
kind of just bring it out in like thin air without context. Like
Mhm.
it's hard for me.
I like how you said that they're your own. I'm big on creating my own.
Mhm.
If you look on IG, like I've been just posting things that just come to my mind.
Oh, I got a
Hopefully
few of my
some-
own too.
Share.
You want to share?
Share a couple of your own.
All right. Let's see what you guys think.
Mine this week, I got 2.
Let's see. So one that I
Is it a
wrote-
long quote?
No,
Or
no,
is
no,
it-
they're all-
Is it like
they're all
those
actu-
like punchline quotes?
They're just more punchline. They're short. They're not long. I don't like those. Try to be as perfect as possible, but also understand you can never be perfect.
Mm.
And then, oh yeah, okay. I think it makes sense. I do not want to die before I have lived because because then I would never have lived before I died.
I do not want to die before I live.
I do not want to die before I have lived because then I would never have lived before I died. So meaning, I don't want to basically commit spiritual suicide to the point where I give up on achieving what I want
Yeah.
before I die because then I'm never going to have lived before my actual death.
Yes, I
Yeah.
get it. Mine this week,
You memorized it, eh? Good for you.
No, I'm still trying to make sense of
okay.
it, but I get it. I just pretty basic ones, but
Mhm.
I said, just pain is temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And I also said, in order to open new doors, you might have to close some old ones.
Mm-hmm.
I also said, there's another one, like you might have to travel far for what you want,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be worth it in the end, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like, I think we're afraid to go further out for what we want. We think everything should be right within in our vicinity, and we should be able to reach out and get what we want. But a lot of people are afraid to go further out, and further out could be it's metaphorical,
Mm-hmm.
but like trying something new.
Yeah.
Like, how can you use the same formula over and over again and expect different results?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want something different, you're gonna have to try to do something. Yeah, that's yeah. See, that's her quote.
There you go.
What is it?
Insanity.
Yeah.
Insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results.
It's Albert Einstein. Yeah.
But yeah.
The fuck, I had something I had on my mind. I literally just had it.
That's happened to me a couple times
I
tonight.
hate that. It just went blank. It was in regards to
The pain or the doors?
after that you were talking.
I
You were
said that.
explaining it.
And then I said you have to go far for what you want. Sometimes you have to go far for what you want.
I can't remember. Fuck. I hate when that happens.
Okay, so the conversation won't end here. We're going to invite you back to the show. That's my point of having guests on the show too, like especially people who are near dear to me. I want the conversation to continue. I want communication and conversation to continue. I don't want it to stop. I don't want people to just come on the show and promote what they got or whatever. Of course, getting to know each other and ourselves is an ongoing process. That's why answering the who are you question is very difficult. There's not one way. There's not one right answer because we're continuing to grow every minute, every second. We're getting to know ourselves as every day passes, you know what I mean? So there is no right way, but it's very intriguing to know how a person looks at themselves. I don't know the answer to that. I'm still trying to figure that out, who I am. I'm only 30 years old, and if we believe in time, then I'm 30, but I think I'm older than that, to be honest with you. I felt like I was 30 at 15. So imagine how old I feel now based on what I've been through. So I want to say thank you for coming on the show, and I appreciate everything that you've shared. Sharing pieces of yourself, sharing pieces of your creation. We're going to have you back on the show too, so that the people can continue to get to know who Adam is. And, you know, they'll see our friendship and our connection, and just, you know, the conversation will continue. Nipsey Hussle said the marathon continues. I want to say that the conversation continues. It never ends. You know what I mean?
Always keeps going on. There's always new things to talk about and discover.
100%. I asked you this in the beginning of the show. It won't be the same. And I just want to reword it. I wanted to know if you had anything to say to the people listening to our show tonight or our episode. And it could be anything, any type of message, anything about yourself, anything of inspiration, and you had 2 minutes to say it. What would that be?
So I've always said this, especially lately, I've always said that I want people to believe in themselves, that they can achieve whatever they want. And I think believing and having belief in whatever you do, it could be just thinking that, you know, you can become a better person. You can go and start that company. You can go and talk to that boy or girl, or you'll be able to stand up to oppression. You'll be able to get out of your broken home, whatever. Belief is the first and foremost, most important thing that you're going to need in order to achieve anything. It comes before anything. It comes before courage. It comes before consistency. It comes before being truthful with yourself. When you actually believe that you can do something, and like you truly, like, honestly believe, and you talk with yourself, you sit down with yourself, and you see and you understand what you want to do with yourself or what you want to accomplish, and you have an honest conversation with your mind, inside your mind, and you believe, then you'll be able to achieve whatever you want, and then you can actually start moving forward. But unless you start doing that, it'll never happen. So I want to just try and, you know, let people, inspire them to believe in themselves, and that they can do whatever they want. They don't have to stay where they are. They can become more. You can, you know, achieve anything that you want as long as you have belief.
And who is Adam?
Well,
start by saying
going back.
Don't be Carlton from Fresh Prince.
No. Just going back to Adam is still figuring himself out, I think, and not he knows certain pieces of the puzzle, I think, are put together, but he doesn't have a total equation for you just yet. So there's certain things that I know about myself, but I don't even think I can fully answer that for you right now, to be honest with you. I think there's still things that I'm still figuring out about myself. I think I've made a lot of ground. I've covered a lot of ground, and I've made a lot of progress, but there's still quite a few things to understand. So,
and what is something that you know for certain about yourself? One thing.
Passion. There's a lot of passion in what I do, and creativity. Those are two things that really speak out to me quite a bit, and I like to infuse those two together, especially when I'm working towards something that I feel is very fulfilling towards me.
Yes.
So yeah.
I'll end off by saying a wise man also told me that if there is no passion in anything that you do, don't bother. It doesn't matter if money's involved or not. You could be making the most money in your life, but if there's no passion attached, you're gonna die inside. So he said that passion should be involved in everything that you do. If you don't end up completing this task or this goal or whatever, that means you weren't passionate about it to begin with. So don't bother. Don't start. Don't start nothing if there's no passion. Don't talk to no girl or be involved with anybody if there's no passion.
Yeah.
Don't, you know?
I agree 100%. Success, according to that, success without, what's it called? Oh no, what was it? What is success without failure? It was, success without fulfillment is failure. That's what it was. So you can be successful at something, Tony Robbins, you can be successful at something, but if you don't have passion or fulfillment through it, it's just going to feel like another 9 to 5, I think. The money might be there. You might have made a lot of money, or you might have had an achievement. You might be able to buy other things with it, but that money, everybody needs it economically, sure, but it's temporary happiness. At the end of the day, you will get used to those things, but something that's fulfilled and that you can keep progressing with, hence writing something, music, art, growing a business, growing a relationship with somebody, something that's fulfilling to you, that'll never die. So
Yes.
success without fulfillment is, to me, like Tony Robbins said, it's seriously failure.
Yes. Agreed. Come. Thina has a quote.
There we go. Okay, we got it.
Adam, you're official member of the club.
Yeah.
Here's your badge. Badge day.
Okay.
Congratulations on everything. Your books, your online books, your novels. Can we call it a novel?
Yeah, novel, book, same thing.
It's a novel.
Yeah.
Your creation. You're a
Mhm.
creator. Welcome to the Creator Club. You're always an artist,
Yeah.
but you're an official creator now.
Just have to keep digging a bit more, but it's there.
And welcome to the club. This is your home as well. You know what I'm saying? And you'll
Yes,
be
sir.
back.
Thanks, bro.
Titi has her quote.
Mm-hmm.
Hope is the only thing stronger than fear.
Yay. That's cute. That's good, though.
Hope is the stronger than fear.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Anything else you want to say, sir?
That was pretty much it. Everything's covered, I think. Yeah, just whoever, at the end of the day, just believe in yourself, and that's it.
100%.
Make sure it happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Who and How Club. This is your boy, Aris Dejan. We got Adam Zed in front of me. Sorry, first tell them where to get your books and stuff like that. And
So
where to follow you.
So like I said before, you can get them off Amazon has all my books, and then you can go online to Indigo, Chapters, and Barnes and Noble, and then bookswifi.com. Book Nerds is another one, and you can get my sci-fi novel off there. And then you can follow me at Adam Zomparelli at Instagram. Facebook is the same thing. Twitter is the same thing.
Yeah, if you can't find this guy, just go on my page, type in Adam, you'll see him.
Yeah.
I've tagged him on everything. Will you come back?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Give us some updates and stuff like that, and we'll
Mhm.
talk some more
For
deep
sure,
shit, yeah?
For sure, 100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Aris Dejan. I am your host. I am your leader, your friend, your brother, your cousin, your nephew. Not your sister, but maybe I am your sister, because I come from a mother, and I got the female energy and the male energy in me. So I'm not denying that whatsoever. So I'm your everything. I'm with you. You're with me. We are the who's and how's of this world. And I want to say thank you to everybody tuning in and for being a part of this experience tonight. I had a friend on this episode, and I wish him well in everything that he's doing and creating. And he inspires me. And you guys all got to witness this. Shout out to Tina in the background as usual, Miss Producer. And she made sure that tonight went smooth. We'll talk soon. And just stay up, stay positive. And until the next time, we'll talk soon. Cheers.